Alright, what's going on? So today is my first ever video where I am going to take a verse and I am going to basically just dissect it and give you my interpretation of what it means. And, I want this to be a kind of thing where, I tell you how I feel and what I took from the verse, and you tell me what you took from the verse, and you tell me your interpretation, and if you have different opinions or similar opinions, I want you to be able to share it down below. This is my first ever one. Hopefully, as I do this more and more, we can have sort of like a hub, where everybody comments down below and shares their opinions, and what I want is for me to tell you something and you learn something, and for you to tell me something that I don't know and I can learn something, and that'd be great. That's really what I'm going for here. So thank you for tuning in. I want this to be, I know I make all kinds of videos, but I want this to be one where everyone feels welcome, and everyone can learn or teach, whatever stance you're at. So let's just jump right into this. Today, I picked a lighthearted one for the first verse. I will get into more heavy ones, more controversial maybe, and ones that are just have deeper meanings. But for the first one, I figured I would take it easy. So today I'm going to be looking at Matthew 4:38 until about, I'll probably stop at like 45. So 38 to 45. I'm just glad they have a book named after me. No. Or maybe I'm named after a book. I'm not sure how that goes. But, so, I'm going to start at Matthew 4:38, and this is basically all about, you can go and look yourself, if you want to follow along, I guess. But this is basically just about, forgiving people that do wrong for you and how to handle situations. Because, we all have been in those positions where, somebody does us wrong. And, of course, our first initial reaction is to, get them back or to do something back to them. But this is going to teach us otherwise. And this was always a verse that I was confused about. It wasn't until about a year ago when one of my church leaders taught me, a new way to look at it, and probably the more accurate way. So I was mistaken on this verse for basically all my life, and so that's why I picked it for the first one. So, Matthew 4:38 to 45. You have heard that it is said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to them the other cheek also. And if anyone wants to sue you and take your shirt, hand over your coat as well. If anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go with them 2 miles. Give to the one who asks you, and do not turn away from the one who wants to borrow from you. And the next one is about loving your enemies, 43 to 45. You have heard that it is said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. So that was written in red, so it's important. And it is, that is again Matthew 4:38 to 45. The part about that I, all my life I didn't understand, because, you hear a lot, like, oh, turn the other cheek, and I always thought that meant, like, turn the other cheek as in don't, kind of let it go, don't react, like, turn the other cheek, like, I'm just going to forget about it. That's what I thought that meant, but, I was taught about a year ago that actually, like it says, because I guess I never actually looked into it. I just heard the saying, but it actually just means, like, if you get hit, turn the other one and say, hit me again on this one. I don't think that's a literal analogy. And in some cases, I guess, if somebody hits you, then offer up your face. But what they mean is, what he means is that, when you get hit, not even that, when somebody does something bad to you, don't immediately react and do the same to them or worse. give them, when somebody does something bad to you, return them with a favor. And, you know, that's hard to do. I get that. You know, everybody has been wronged, and everybody has, you know, had that first instinct to react. And, you know, that's probably one of the hardest things in life, you know, is especially if it's somebody you really don't like, you know, it's hard to not, you know, react. You know, there's been a lot of times I've reacted and I've, you know, gone out in anger and unfortunately in violence. And it also says, and, you know, I think for you to take this and for it to fully, you know, for you to fully act on it, you know, he also says that, you know, murder is wrong, but the anger that sparks the thought of murder, or, you know, just anger in general towards your peers, excuse me, is just as bad as murder. So I feel that in order to fully, you know, act on this text that I just read, is to, you know, not even harbor thoughts of anger or thoughts of, you know, harming somebody that did you wrong. You know, I think that when somebody does you wrong, you know, based off what I've read, the best thing to do is to do them good and to treat them politely. And don't do it in a smart alecky way, you know. There is a lot of negativity. There's so much negativity in the world. And the best thing for you to do to stop the negativity is to help them and do right. And that's what Christ taught us. And, you know, I always thought, like, if we are all sinners, you know, which we are, we're all sinners, and Christ was clean, you know, sinless, perfect, and he gave his life, he paid the ultimate sacrifice for sinners. You know, what makes us any better than the person that does us wrong? So if Christ is willing to give his life for sinners, then shouldn't we treat other sinners, you know, the best we can, because we're no better than they are. Regardless of what they did to you, you know, there's nobody that has not been polluted with sin, you know. It's practically in our DNA. So the best thing you can do is just to show love, you know, regardless of who it is or what that person is doing, because you always have to remember, you know, we are no better, I am no better than the person that did me wrong. But it's just a thought, and it's the truth, you know. Everything in here is the truth, and I just wanted to share it, you know. There's going to be a lot more of it, and I want to know your guys' interpretations, what you guys think. I want this to be a two-way thing, you know. I don't want to just get on YouTube and talk, you know. Part of this is because I want to come and hear what you guys have to say. So please share with me. I really mean it, you know. I want to hear it. And it'd be great if we could just get, you know, a community, you know. And if we can all go out and act upon it, that would be even better. Because what's the point of, you know, reading the scriptures and citing the scriptures and you know, standing on a soapbox on YouTube and telling it to the world when you don't actually go out and act on it, you know? It's practically like getting in a car and putting your foot on the gas but not turning the key. It's the same thing. So I appreciate you guys for watching. If you made it this far, it means a lot. And yes, I hope to talk more about this. I hope to hear what you guys think. And I really appreciate it. I appreciate you for tuning in. And I want this to be a place where everybody's welcome. You know, these types of videos are, you know, we're all children in God. So, you know, come to me, come to my channel, and we'll all talk. It'll be great. It'll be a good time. So thank you for that. I appreciate you all, and I will speak with you again soon. Adios, homeboys.